Your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And then remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
You know better than that.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Okay, I see it, Josh. I'm making, it's kind of like my kids. So old people. It's Old People Day, National Senior Citizens Day. And I will share with you that, something at this stage, I have no problem going and saying, something, I'm a senior, I've made it, and I want to get that senior citizen discount. Now, there's certain places you go to. I chuckle because there's a Bristol Farms right by our studio here. And I chuckle because I say, when you go to Bristol Farms, you get the senior citizen discount. That means that everything is just overpriced instead of grossly overpriced. So, but something, they've got some good quality stuff too. So I can't say too much. No one forces me to go in there, but I do. And there's a few restaurants that actually we start going to now. And I just ask, do you have a senior citizen discount? Now, when they start going to the idea of the senior citizen menu, that just tells me that I don't get as much to eat. But then again, do I need as much to eat anymore? It's a little bit easier right there too. So, it's a trade-off, and it is what it is, as they say.
It is what it is.
That's what I was going to say. It is what it is. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. Do we want to see what the markets are doing? The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 202 points. The NASDAQ is down 100. S&P 500 down 28. Oil's up 58 cents a barrel. You're looking at some of these numbers. They're not exciting. The 10-year Treasury is up about 4.5 basis points. Mortgage bond is down 17, which means rates are up. I'm looking at the numbers, and there's a lot of the numbers that are coming out, and they're kind of mixed. But we are watching and seeing, because all eyes right now are, as I've been telling you, all eyes are on Jackson Hole, which I don't think is the same as the song. What is it? Johnny Cash, Josh? Going to Jackson? I think that's the one that it's going to Jackson. Jackson Hole, I don't think is the same as what Johnny Cash was talking about. Just my guess, but I'm right. Okay, let's, there's a lot of stuff going on in the news this morning. I saw one article, and I did share it earlier today. You got to watch our social media posts. We put out a lot of, in my opinion, again, it's we put out a lot of good content out there, and we're always watching what the latest news articles are. 28%, only 28% of the population can now, based on affordability, afford the median priced homes. But, is that good or bad? Well, we want to have more people able to afford the pricing. But my real comment here is, are you following the right strategies? We've been talking about strategy beating rate always. I probably say that, I don't know, more than Josh wants to hear it, but 5 or 6 times a show. But, the buy down strategy, it helps with affordability. So while everybody else is sitting there telling you they can't afford to buy a house, if you're following and listening to Ron Siegel Radio, we've told you how you can afford it. How we showed that one family in the strategy, rsrlinks.com/buydown, rsrlinks.com/buydown. We showed you how a family got $500 a month on their budget qualification so they could qualify for that $700,000 house. Now, if they didn't need to save that $500, they can go with the full boat. Well, use the same strategy, and instead of buying a $700,000 house, buy an $800,000 house. Now, I'm not saying you should go above your budget. No. I don't say that at all. But what I am saying is if you're following the right strategies, you might be able to expand that budget to where you can afford a little bit more. So when everyone else is talking about affordability, you need to just look and say, okay, I get it that maybe there is an affordability issue. But again, I hear a lot of folks out there talking about the temporary buy downs. And I've said for so long, when we started talking about, I've been doing buy downs for, 15, 20 years now. But when we've been promoting them on the program for the last 4 or 5 years, more concentrated. Well, here's the issue. Is a lot of people started saying, let's do that temporary buy down. Marry the house and date the rate. How's that worked out for you? Now, the idea here is when you've got a temporary buy down, you're adding risk. And I'm not about a lot of risk. I don't, safety, liquidity, and return. Safety, number one. We put it there for a reason. Now, when you went with that idea of doing that temporary buy down, and again, we explain it all in depth when you go to rsrlinks.com/buydown. But when you look at that temporary buy down, what if you're one of that 235,000 people who filed first-time jobless claims this last week? Okay, and that's up from the expectations. What if you're one of those people that have been on long-term unemployment? What if you have to live off of some credit cards so you don't qualify for the new loan when rates do come down? A lot of what ifs. And I'm not a fan of the what ifs. That's why I like the permanent buy down. Get the seller to give you a concession instead of ask, especially right now where there's more homes on the market. We talked to Jim Norton about that yesterday. But you get the seller to give you a concession and you end up doing a bit better and you have a permanent buy down. Now, when you look at the example, rsrlinks.com/buydown, you're going to see, and I don't know if you're qualified for it, and I'm not going to go into APRs and all that. This is education. But we were able to bring that rate down to 5.375. There is nobody that I've heard of that's got credibility talking about interest rates in the fives and in the low fives in the near future. High fives, maybe. Scott Besson is talking about our Treasury Secretary getting the 10-year Treasury down to 3.9. But right now I'm looking at it, and it is a 4.34. If he gets it to 3.9, you add about 2 points onto that in order to get to the 30-year fixed rate, 3.9 plus 2, 5.9. That 5.375 is looking pretty good, isn't it? You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, buy your dream home first, then worry about selling later. From frenzy to breathing room, buyers finally have time again. And we're going to try and tell you all about our certified buying process. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564 Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ. and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. And every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual lock rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you put in your mortgage calculator to find out what your principal and interest payment will be. And if you don't have a mortgage calculator, shame on you. rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. What did rates do yesterday? Most of them were up. Conventional 30-year fix, 6.631 up. Jumbo 30-year fix, 6.718. That was down. FHA 30-year fix, 6.402 up. VA 30-year fix, 6.236 up. USDA 30-year fix, 6.378. That one was up. If you want our thoughts about the market, each morning we try and put out a report as early as the data allows. Go to rsrlinks.com/HBOD. That's the Ron Siegel Radio community, rsrlinks.com/HBOD. And let's see what the markets are doing this morning. Do we want to see what the markets are doing? The S&P 500 is now down 22 points. The 10-year Treasury is up almost 5 basis points, 4.34. And we've got the mortgage bond that's up, down 16 basis points, which means interest rates are going the wrong way. They are up. What's driving this? Not helping bonds were comments from Kansas City Fed President Jeffrey Schmidt, who did not sound in favor of a cut and was solely focused on inflation. He said the last mile of inflation is hard and that he expects it to rise due to tariffs. It's surprising that he does not attribute some of the inflation to the imputed and inaccurate owner's equivalent rent data, because as we went over this week with real-time data, inflation and CPI and PCE core are being overstated by 0.5% and 0.2% respectively. Both would be at 2.6, and that includes some impact of tariffs that the Fed is supposed to look through. More surprising was his comments that the labor market is solid. I wonder where this guy gets his data.
Idiot.
Every metric is pointing to a slowdown, continuing claims at their highest level since 2021, a huge decline in job openings, median duration of unemployment rising significantly, negative ADP 2 months ago, and of course the latest BLS data with huge revisions. The Fed has recently said they like to look at ratios because the labor force is uncertain with immigration. First, the business survey, where the headline job creation figure comes from, showed 19,000, 16,000, and 73,000 the last 3 months for an average of 35,000 per month. And let's remember that there is another revision to June and 2 more to July, so they'll likely be even lower than that. But ignoring that and looking at the household survey where unemployment rate comes from, the unemployment rate rose to 4.2% and was a hair from being rounded to 4.3%. Additionally, the job growth component in that report was a negative 260,000 last month and a negative 863,000 over the last 3 months. Not sure how that's solid unless you're looking for a solidly crumbling rock. The Fed minutes were released yesterday, which was from July 30th Fed meeting. And before the latest jobs report, they showed that there is clearly a bit of a divided Fed. Almost all members agreed there are risks to inflation and the labor market, but the majority thought inflation was the higher risk. A couple thought that labor was more salient risk, likely Bowman and Waller. One would hope that many of their views have changed since the jobs report, but the odds of a September 17th cut have started to fall. Last week, they were at 92%, 82% yesterday, and now 73% today. Let's hope the Fed cuts, because if they don't, it's likely we will see asset prices fall and the bond market react negatively. We have already started to see less spending from the consumer, and most of that spending is from consumers that own assets, which are not far from record highs. If asset prices were to fall, many would likely try to lock in profits, and it would exacerbate the move. There would be a negative wealth effect and less spending in that scenario. The Fed would most likely have to do an emergency cut instead of getting ahead of it. And if there is more inflation passed to the consumer from tariffs, which is minimal thus far, it would result in less spending and a further slowdown in the economy, forcing them to cut anyway. Good morning. What is this, Mr. Schmidt? I hope you can wake up a little bit, because you're really not seeing what's going on in the market. Existing home sales, which measures closings on existing homes, was a little better than market estimates, but Diana Olick, another one. Oops.
Such an idiot.
Yeah.
Such an idiot.
She's just Diana. The next time Diana Olick gets something right again, it's going to be the first time. Sales. Everything she says is try to sour reports. Sales rose 2% in July to a 4.01 unit annualized pace, which was stronger than 0.5% decline expected. Sales are still at low levels and well below the norm of 5 to 5.5 million units. This speaks to a lot of pent-up demand that would likely become active if we were to see rates fall. Sales are up roughly 1% year over year. The median home price fell 2.4% from June to 422,400 and is pretty flat compared to this time last year. Remember, median only tells us the mix of homes selling. It doesn't tell us anything about prices of homes. 21% of homes sold above list, which is down from 29% last year. Cash buyers made up 31%, which is higher than 27% last year. Investors made up 20% of transactions, up from 13% last year. First-time home buyers accounted for 28%, down from 29% last year. But Diana Olick said the normal level is 40%. Looking at the chart that we shared on our social media channels, it's clear that the average level is closer to 30%, not 40%. Hello, Diana.
Such an idiot. Such an
Cotality Rental Index. Cotality Rent reported that blended rents were up 1.1% in June, which is pretty normal for that time of year. Year over year, that decelerated from 3.1 to 2.9, which is a similar story to what we saw in most of the recent Zillow report. Once again, if actual figures were being used in the CPI and PCE core measures, CPI would be lowered by 0.5% and PCE would be lowered by 0.2%. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends, mbelinks.com/mobile app, mbelinks.com/mobile app. Yeah, got a lot of great data in there for you. I think let's see if we could do our real-time real estate segment right now, just because I've got a lot of workshops I'm going to give you today as well. Real-time real estate brought to you by rsrmoney.com. From frenzy to breathing room, buyers finally have time again. If you tried to buy a home a few years ago, you probably still remember the frenzy. Homes were listed one day, gone the next. Sometimes it only took hours. You had to drop everything to go and see the house. And if you hesitated even slightly, someone else swooped in and bought it, sometimes even sight unseen. That kind of intensity pushed a lot of buyers to the sidelines. It was stressful, chaotic, and for many, really discouraging. But here's what you need to know. Those days are behind us. Today's market is moving slower in the best possible way, and that's creating more opportunity for buyers who felt shut out in recent years. The stat that changes everything, according to the latest data, homes are spending an average of 58 days on market. That's much more normal, and it's a big improvement compared to the height of the pandemic when homes were flying off the shelves in a matter of days. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 or FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart. Homes aren't flying off the market anymore. Again, these are national numbers. You want the numbers for your neighborhood? Not a problem. rsrlinks.com/market report. rsrlinks.com/market report. That means you have more time to make decisions than you have at any point in the past 5 years, and that's a big deal. Now you've got time to think, time to negotiate, time to make a smart move without all the pressure. More time means less stress and more leverage. Based on the data in the graph we shared, you have an extra week to decide compared to last year and nearly double the time you would have had at the market's peak. Back then, fear of missing out drove buyers to act fast, sometimes too fast. Today, the pace is slower, which means you're in control. As Bankrate puts it, quote, for years, buyers have been racing to snag homes because of the fierce competition, but the market's cooled off a bit now, and that gives buyers some breathing room. Homes are staying listed longer, so buyers can slow down, weigh their options, and make more confident decisions, unquote. With more homes on the market, fewer buyers racing to grab them, the balance has shifted. Bidding wars aren't as common, and that means you may have room to negotiate, and you can actually take a breath before you make your decision. More listings plus a slower pace equals less stress and more opportunity. But, and this is important, it still depends on where you're buying. Nationally, homes are moving slower, but your local market sets their real pace. Some states are moving faster than others. It may even vary down to specific zip code or neighborhood you're looking at, and that's why working with an agent to know what's happening in your area is more important than ever. to see how your state compares to the national average of 58 days. Check out the map we've got on the screen. It's 52 in California. Or again, go to rsrlinks.com/market report and find out what it's like in your zip code, rsrlinks.com/market report. As Realtor.com explains, quote, while national headlines might suggest a buyer's market is taking hold, the reality on the ground depends heavily on where and what you're trying to buy. Local trends can diverge sharply from national averages, especially when you factor in price range, property type, and post-pandemic market dynamics. A smart local agent can tell you exactly when to move fast and when you can take your time, so never miss the right home for you. Bottom line, if the chaos of the past few years drove you to hit pause, this is your green light. The market's pace has shifted. You have more time, more options, more power, and with the right agent guiding you, you're in the best position you've been in for years. Let's talk about what the pace looks like in any area you want. Again, I've shared that with you. And let's talk about what makes sense for you when it comes to finding the great real estate agent. I've got a report card on every one of them that are doing business in the country. And all you got to do is call me and ask. I provide them at no cost to a lot of folks that we consult with. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, buy your dream home first, then worry about selling later. Really? How you going to afford that? I'll tell you. And got to get into the certified buyer program. It's not witness protection. We go there and make it all fully operational and visible for you. That's the certified buyer program. We're going to talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ. and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Borrow Smart, brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. Here's how a family bought their dream home with zero contingencies while still owning their current house without being a millionaire or getting a massive loan. I am Ron Siegel, certified liability advisor, helping people build wealth through strategic debt management. Just last month, the family reached out after being frustrated beyond belief. They'd been house hunting for 8 months and lost 4 different bidding wars. Every time they made an offer, they had to include that pesky home sale contingency. You know, the one that says, we'll buy your house if we can sell ours first. Well, guess what happened? Sellers kept picking the other offers, the ones without strings attached. The husband told me, Ron, we're tired of being second-class buyers just because we own a home. Sound familiar? In today's competitive market, that home sale contingency is like showing up to a knife fight with a spoon. You're automatically at a disadvantage. So what does this mean for you? Strategy beats rate always. Yeah, I know. I said it again. Strategy beats rate always. And sometimes the best strategy isn't about getting the lowest mortgage rate. It's about positioning yourself to win the house you actually want. Here's what they discovered. There's something called a guaranteed backup contract. Think of it like an insurance policy on your current home. An investor agrees to purchase your departing residence at a pre-agreed price, which allows the lender to exclude that mortgage payment from your debt-to-income ratio. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Once you have this backup contract in place, you can make offers without any contingencies. You look just like a cash buyer to the seller, but using traditional financing. The seller doesn't know the difference, and frankly, they don't care. They just want certainty. This family, they got their dream home for $50,000 under asking price because their offer was so clean. No contingencies, no worries about their sale falling through. They closed in 30 days while the other buyers were still figuring out their financing. But here's the beautiful part. They listed their house and sold it at full market value 3 weeks later. The backup contract simply expired, and they pocketed the difference. They moved once, not twice. No storage units, no temporary housing, no stress about timing 2 transactions perfectly. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. That's exactly what this family initially thought. But let's look at the numbers. The backup contract cost them $2,500. They saved $50,000 on the purchase and avoided the stress and potential costs of losing more bidding wars. What's your time worth? What's your peace of mind worth? The cost on this particular program, a flat starting at $2,500, compared to that losing your dream home or accepting $50,000 less because you had to settle for a house that would accept contingencies. Remember, we evaluate everything through safety, liquidity, and return. This strategy gives you the safety of knowing you can buy your new home, the liquidity to move when you find the right property, and the return of getting top dollar for both properties. Your household blended interest rate stays exactly the same, but your quality of life improves dramatically when you're not stressed out about timing 2 transactions perfectly. Here's another angle most people don't consider. When you're house hunting with a sale contingency, you're often settling for homes that sellers are willing to accept contingent offers on. Those aren't usually the best houses on the market. The really desirable properties, they get multiple offers and the sellers can afford to be picky. With this strategy, you suddenly have access to the entire market, not just the portion willing to accept contingent buyers. You're competing for the good stuff. Now, this isn't right for everyone. You need to qualify for the new mortgage on your current income, and you need enough equity in your departing home to make the numbers work. But if you've been losing bidding wars because of contingencies, it might be exactly what you need. It might be the right strategy. The purpose is surprisingly fast, too. You can get approved and receive backup contract within 24 hours, sometimes as fast as 3 hours in urgent situations. Compare that to traditional bridge loans that can take weeks to process and cost significantly more. If you're tired of losing bidding wars because of home sale contingencies, let's talk about how this strategy might work for your situation. It's pretty simple, and I've got other strategies where you can buy before you sell as well. They're all right there. Now, want to get started? Let's take a look at a pre-app. Go to rsrlinks.com/Sora, rsrlinks.com/Sora. Takes 30 seconds. We'll do a mini app for you and give you the information right there, rsrlinks.com/Sora, and we'll take a look at it. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. And as I say, strategy beats rate always. That's the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. If you haven't looked at the all-in-one loan, boy, you're just really missing it. It's one of the greatest loans out there for building wealth. And it's ironic because I tell people this and they just don't understand it. They say, Ron, how can you have the highest rate, highest cost, and lowest interest expense? It's because you're paying principal first. Now, I know that doesn't make sense to you when I say it on radio or on our social channels here. That's why you've got to go to our dashboard where we've got a bunch of frequently asked questions. We've got a lot of information. I've done radio shows on it. I've done standalones on it. GetHomeSelect.com. GetHomeSelect.com. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, it's the Certified Buyer Program. We're going to talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ. and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990. Another workshop for you today. Borrow Smart, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, RSR Home Select. I'm sorry, gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. Okay, for some reason, this is telling me that it can't grab this window. Let's see if I can grab it again. We'll try one more time and see if I can do it, or if we've got to get Josh to do it for me. Obviously, I am the senior citizen, and for some reason, sometimes it just doesn't like to do what I want it to do. We're trying to, so what we're talking about here is our certified buyer program. And it doesn't look like, browsers can't, it's not bringing it in. Josh, can you bring yours in on your side? Of course you can. So what is a certified buyer program? So we've actually started this with at Ron Siegel Radio. And the certified buyer program, it's a very, very cool program, and it's cutting edge. Now, there's a lot of people out there that talk about getting pre-approved and pre-underwritten, but how do they deliver it? And what does that really mean to you? And when I look at that, we came up and with some of our marketing partners, we came out and we said, okay, let's take this into a 5-step process. And let's really make it into something that is more than just sending out that PDF. And I don't care whether you're talking about a 1-page PDF or a 5-page PDF or all kinds of bells and whistles. This is all usable stuff that adds to exactly what's going on for you and for the whole process. So what do I mean by it? What are we talking about in it? And we're going to get the images and whatnot here in just a minute as Josh covers for me as usual. But the certified buyer program is revolutionary. And one of the things that we talk about on Ron Siegel Radio on a regular basis is how strategies are always going to beat the rate. But when we talk about the strategy beating rate, it starts from day one. We've talked to you about our second look program. And maybe if we have time after we do this presentation, that second look will come up. So let's get this started for you. Borrow Smart, brought to you by Home Select, gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. The certified buyer program. So what is it? It's a process. We've created a simple, streamlined process to help you confidently move from pre-approval, actually from the consultation, even before we even get started there, to owning your home and beyond, because owning your home is your biggest, most cases, it's your biggest asset and it's your biggest liability. And some people are sending you out a piece of paper that says you're pre-approved, but you're not certified. So step one is the certified buyer consultation. What do we do in step one? We got to talk to you and understand your needs. Right there. I mean, how do we go and how do somebody ever give you a loan scenario without understanding your needs? And that's why there are so many people right now that they say, okay, we get it. We're going to go online and we're just going to deal with this whole thing right online. Well, does that really work? It does if you're not looking for anything but a rate. And in most instances, we've showed you in our second look program, and we'll have that if you go to the dashboard and we get with the, in fact, Josh, why don't you throw that on the screen real quick? rsrlinks.com/certified buyer. I think, isn't that the name of it? rsrlinks.com/certified buyer. So this presentation is going to be in that program. But in that program, we also talk about our second look program. Now, if you're certified with us, you don't need the second look, but we saved somebody $134,000 by getting a second look. So if you want to go to one of the online services where they think you know everything that there is to know about lending and programs and strategies, well, you might be one of those people that just cost yourself $134,000 like this other family, or potentially did. They did, because we talked to them, and that's what we do. So We understand your needs first. Then we put together loan options. It could be the buy down program. It could be the get home, the all-in-one program. It could be a VA loan. It could be a USDA loan. Now, if you just go on a website, it may not even offer you a VA loan or a USDA loan. Some big institutions don't even do those. So we understand all of these things, and we're checking with 30 to 40 different institutions. If you're a business owner, maybe somebody told you don't qualify, and we've got a program using either a 1099 or bank statements or your profit and loss statement, or maybe you just have a bunch of assets and you're smart and don't want to use them for that. So what do you have to do in this? Well, you've got to complete a loan application. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. Now here, look at this. We're still just in step one of this. You're going to have to give us the necessary documents so we can do our due diligence. Here's the scenario. Have you ever gone to a doctor because, you're just not feeling good, and you go walk in and you say, "Doc, I need a prescription." He said, "Well, what's wrong?" "I don't feel good." Do they give you a prescription? No. They've got to look you over. They've got to do an examination, because they can give you an antibiotic, but that's not going to help your broken toe. Sorry. And I'm not a doctor. So the answer here is you got to give us the application. Yes, we have to run credit, and we need to get some documentation from you. That's how we're able to go ahead and figure out what's involved there. Now, what do you get from that? You're going to get a custom loan plan built for you. You're going to get clear payment and loan options, and you're going to get steps to get approved, not pre-approved, approved and approved fast. That's the whole idea. Now we've finished step one, and we make it simple for you. It's not like it's going to be a long and drawn out process. Step one may not take as long as it's taken for me to go through the example right here. Step two, you're going to get a certified buyer approval. Certified buyer approval. What do? We review your loan approval details and receive your certified buyer's pass. Okay, now what we provide you with, you're going to get another custom presentation explaining your pre-approval and the next steps. You're going to get that approval letter in a PDF for agents and sellers. It's going to be part of the dashboard we send you. Oh, and now's the new one. You're going to get a certified buyer pass. Now, where do you put the certified buyer pass? That's a good one. We're going to send that to you so you can put that certified buyer pass in your Apple Wallet or in your Google Wallet. So what does this mean? You're officially ready to start touring homes. That's the next step in the process. You can go out and tour homes. Step three is that certified buyer pass. What do you do? Attend open houses and private showings with your certified buyer pass. Take a look at what the certified buyer pass looks like. Have you ever looked at that? Yeah, when you go on your Apple Wallet, if you go to a baseball game, if you go to a concert, when you go to a lot of places, you can store things in your Apple Wallet or Google Wallet. We send it to you just like those. You click add to wallet. Guess what happens? It gets added to your wallet. Now you see right on there, it's going to tell you what we've done already. It's going to tell you right on there that we've already examined the assets. We've examined your income. All the things that we've done are right there on your wallet. Let me see if I just screwed up what I'm looking at here because I can't see it real well. But have we verified your income? Have we verified your assets? Have we verified your the underwriting? What else can you do with that? Well, you just hold up that QR code when you go into any open house and they say, are you working with somebody? Yep, here it is. Here's my approval. They can actually look at that. When they open that up, they're able to then download the pre-approval letter. They're able to see if you've got a a real estate agent that you're working with. They can see if you've got a buyer broker agreement in place. It's all right there. And you don't have to carry around a piece of paper, and you don't have to drop it on the floorboard or any of those things. You've got it right there in your Apple Wallet. What we ensure you have, again, in your certified buyer pass to show the listing agent a pre-approval letter, PDF, stored inside and available anytime. And there's a video from me for the listing agent so they can see what we've done and how well qualified you already are. That's the way it works. What this means, sellers and agents see you as a serious, well-qualified buyer. They're going to take you way more serious than anyone else. Step 4, the certified buyer offer. What you do, discuss your offer strategy with your agent and me. We do it all together. What we do, generate your digital offer for that specific property. Include a custom video from me explaining your strong financing position to the sellers. Yeah, I'm doing a video right to the sellers. Provide an updated pre-approval letter and contact information for all parties. It's right there on that. What this means, your offer stands out with trusted lender approval, giving sellers confidence. And I think it should be even confidence there instead of confidence. We did this really, really quick today so we can have it ready for you. I shouldn't say we. Josh did this really, really quick for you so we can have it ready for you. Ready to start? Let's get you certified and on the path to home ownership. Book that consultation, rsrlinks.com/bookrs30, rsrlinks.com/bookrs30. Do your loan application, rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app, and you're on your way to getting your new house. That's the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. Now, if you are thinking about buying a home, well, you gotta have our Home Buyers Pro Guide. You can't, that's just a must. So go to rsrlinks.com/HBG, rsrlinks.com/HBG. If you are one of those people that are out there saying, Ron, I've got a 3% mortgage, I can't move. Well, how's that 3% mortgage killing you? I'll tell you, rsrlinks.com/3PCT, rsrlinks.com/3PCT. And as a strategy for you, I'm going to give that to you as well. The strategy that I'm going to look at on almost every loan right now, or every property or every project, because it saves you more money than anything else. rsrlinks.com/buydown, rsrlinks.com/buydown. So to recap, you're going to get certified as a certified buyer. rsrlinks.com/certified buyer. You're going to complete your loan application, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. And if you're just ho-hum, not sure if there's anything we can do for you, well, maybe you want to take a look at our our simplified loan application, rsrlinks.com/Sora, rsrlinks.com/Sora. That's one just takes 30 seconds. You put in some of your personal information. We do a soft credit pull, so it has absolutely no effect on your credit scores. And you go out there. Now, if you haven't thought about any of this yet, you're saying, something, Ron, I just want to rent. Well, then maybe that is the right answer for you. rsrlinks.com/RVO, rsrlinks.com/rent versus own. And Josh, I just thought about this. We should have been doing this before, but I'm old. It's National Senior Citizens Day. I am a proponent. I did this for my mom and dad. I can do it for you too. The reverse mortgage makes a ton of sense. rsrlinks.com/reverse, rsrlinks.com/reverse. So that's the reverse mortgage, rsrlinks.com/reverse. If you haven't looked at it, we put in there a bunch of myths that people don't even understand, that they are still thinking, and they're wrong. So, and I've helped a lot of folks with this, rsrlinks.com/reverse. So I hope we gave you some great value today. If we did, make sure you share our information, share the thumbs up and the the like and the link and all that good stuff. Share with a friend. Don't keep us a secret. There's, even though I've lost weight, there's still plenty to go around. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money. It's going to help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.